laws taking effect at the stroke of midnight in virtually every state.
If you get a fine for speeding, you'll now have to pay up. After a month-long warning period, speed cameras are getting people for real.
But in the case of that data recorder, it's going to capture speed, your braking action, how far you steered your steering wheel in one direction or another.
And in some areas, that is setting up a showdown between local officials and the feds.
A new set of federal standards taking effect this month, targeting older drivers who are looking to renew their driver's licenses.
Members of Congress say federal funds within the Highway Trust Fund are dwindling, and electric and hybrid drivers need to pay their share.
Your car is about to become your biggest enemy. Starting February 2026, a hidden device inside your vehicle will record every single move you make behind the wheel. And here's the terrifying part: you're legally forbidden from turning it off. But that's just the beginning. Across all 50 states, a wave of brutal new driving laws is rolling out that most Americans have absolutely no idea about. We're talking about cars that won't start because a sensor doesn't like what it detects on your skin, cameras that calculate your speed over entire stretches of highway, and registration fees so high they'll make you question every decision you've ever made about your vehicle. By the time this video ends, you'll know exactly what's coming and how to protect yourself. Miss even one of these updates, and your wallet, your license, or even your freedom could be on the line. Let's get into it. Let's start with something that's going to completely change how you think about your vehicle. Every car manufactured from model year 2019 forward contains what's essentially an airplane-style black box. It's called an event data recorder, and it's been quietly sitting in your vehicle this entire time. Now here's where things get serious. As of 2026, tampering with this device is officially a punishable offense. This recorder captures everything: your speed at any given moment, how hard you hit the brakes, your steering angle, whether your seatbelt was fastened. All of it gets logged and stored. During routine inspections, authorities can now check whether your EDR is functioning properly. If they discover it's been disconnected, disabled, or shows signs of tampering, you're looking at fines starting around $750 plus a citation that follows you on your permanent driving record. But the implications go far beyond inspections. Insurance companies have full access to download this data after any accident. They can use it to prove exactly what you did wrong in the moments before a crash. Law enforcement can pull this information to build cases against drivers in court. Federal regulators are actively expanding EDR requirements right now, hunting down any vehicle that might be hiding its crash history. Your car has essentially become a witness that can never lie, and there's nowhere to hide from its testimony. Here's something that caught millions of drivers completely off guard. A brand new real-time insurance verification database just went live, and it's connecting toll booths, traffic cameras, and police scanners across the entire country. Officers can now instantly verify whether your license plate is attached to an active insurance policy. The penalties for getting caught without coverage have become absolutely brutal. First offense can mean a $1,000 fine. Get caught a second time, and that jumps to $2,500 plus immediate license suspension. And here's what nobody expected: even a single day lapse in coverage now triggers a red flag in the system. You could be driving through a toll booth completely unaware that your insurance lapsed last week, and seconds later your information is flagged for enforcement action. Multiple states are already connected to this network, and proposals are moving forward to link every state system together. Soon, any license plate reader anywhere in America will be able to pull your insurance status instantly. The days of dealing with insurance issues later are completely finished. Continuous coverage without any gaps is now mandatory unless you want to face massive fines and forced time off the road. Forget everything you knew about speed traps. The old strategy of slamming your brakes right before a camera is officially dead. Federal highways and major corridors are being equipped with a completely different kind of enforcement technology, and it's going to revolutionize how speeding tickets work. These new average speed cameras work by photographing your license plate when you enter a monitored zone, then photographing it again when you exit. The system calculates your average speed over that entire distance. Even if you slow down at specific points, if your overall average exceeds the limit, you're automatically ticketed. Violations start around $300 but can jump to $800 or more for averaging 15 miles per hour over the posted limit. The nationwide rollout begins February 2026, which means a routine commute could generate multiple fines if you don't maintain legal speeds throughout the entire journey. There's no officer, no pullover, just a ticket arriving in your mailbox. The era of getting lucky at one camera is completely over. Now you must maintain legal speeds constantly, or automated tickets will start stacking up faster than you can pay them. This next change is going to shock American drivers more than anything else on this list. By 2026 and 2027, nearly every new car sold in this country will silently monitor you the moment you touch the steering wheel. Federal law now mandates advanced passive alcohol detection systems in new vehicles, and this isn't just for people with prior DUI convictions. This applies to everyone, every driver, every single time they get in their car. The technology uses sensors hidden in steering wheels, cockpit cameras, or even in the start button itself. These sensors detect alcohol molecules using infrared light or by analyzing your skin to measure blood alcohol content. If the system detects a level above the legal limit, your car simply refuses to start. You're stranded wherever you are. Here's what nobody is talking about yet. These sensors are extremely sensitive to alcohol molecules from any source. Hand sanitizer could potentially trigger a reading. Cold medicine containing alcohol might prevent your car from starting. The system doesn't understand context or excuses. If the sensor says no, you're not going anywhere, and there's no arguing with a machine. Automakers are racing to install these systems on assembly lines right now. One night out could leave you stranded in a parking lot with no recourse. Self-driving vehicles present an entirely new legal challenge, and the solution is fascinating. When an autonomous vehicle commits a traffic violation, the manufacturer is now legally responsible. California recently made it legal for police to issue violation notices directly to autonomous vehicle companies. Since a robot car can't pull over and accept a ticket from an officer, authorities now send notices of non-compliance directly to company headquarters. The manufacturer must alert the DMV and coordinate with law enforcement. In effect, the company that built the autonomous vehicle is responsible for every infraction it commits. Governments can also enforce emergency directives on these vehicles. If first responders establish a geo-fenced area around an accident scene, autonomous vehicle companies have exactly 2 minutes to reroute all their cars away from that location. Recent incidents showed self-driving cars running red lights and blocking emergency vehicles. Under the new laws, if your autonomous vehicle rolls through a stop sign on autopilot, the manufacturer faces the citation. The future of driving accountability is shifting in ways nobody predicted. Several states are tightening requirements for senior driver licensing, creating tension between safety concerns and personal independence. Starting in mid-2026, all drivers 75 and older in certain states must renew their licenses in person. That's down from age 79 under previous rules. For drivers 87 and older, a full behind-the-wheel road test is now required at every single renewal. But here's what makes this particularly challenging. Family members and doctors can now file confidential reports if they believe a driver is unsafe. One anonymous medical report from someone you trust could trigger a surprise retest. You won't know who reported you. A minor health concern flagged by a relative or physician could force you out of the driver's seat. Multiple states are adding stricter vision checks, road tests, and earlier recertification requirements for drivers over 70. One failed exam could end 50 years of driving independence in a single afternoon. Parents and teenagers need to pay close attention to this next change. Several states have dramatically increased the requirements for obtaining a license under age 18. New permit requirements now mandate 50 hours of practice driving before a teen can even take the road test, with 10 of those hours required at night. Parents must certify every single hour on paper. Multiple states are lengthening permit periods to 9 or 12 months, up from just 6 months previously. All non-family young passengers are banned during that entire period. Curfews have been pushed earlier as well. These changes come from studies showing that more practice miles save lives, but they mean significant additional time investment for teens and their parents. Here's the brutal reality. 2 minor tickets, perhaps one for speeding and one for phone use, can quickly push a teen over the limit to lose their permit entirely. The days of cutting corners on driver training are finished. Street racing enforcement has reached an entirely new level of severity. It's now a crime just to watch or film a street race in multiple states. You don't have to be driving or performing stunts. Simply standing in the crowd, cheering, or live streaming from the sidewalk can result in arrest, fines, and vehicle impoundment. Law enforcement can seize any vehicle involved in a street race for up to 30 days with no questions asked. First offense brings felony charges and a $1,000 fine plus mandatory license revocation for at least 1 year. Your car gets seized immediately, and you're paying thousands in towing and storage fees. Police are using drones and social media operations to identify organizers and spectators alike. If you're anywhere near a street takeover, even as an innocent bystander, you could lose your car and your license. Electric vehicles were supposed to save money on fuel and earn tax breaks. Instead, states are now imposing heavy registration fees specifically targeting EV owners. About 35 states now add substantial annual fees for electric vehicles. Some states charge $400 just to register a new EV, then $200 every year after that. Other states charge between $130 and $200 annually. The reasoning is that EV drivers don't buy gasoline, so they don't pay gas taxes that fund road maintenance. The result is brutal. EV owners in some states pay several times more than gas car owners just for registration. All those fuel savings get eaten up by massive registration bills. The irony is painful. Going green to save money now means paying significantly more through state fees. Finally, the biggest shock is the complete overhaul of how states tally points for traffic violations. Licenses can now be suspended at just 10 points accumulated over 24 months. Common violations carry far more points than before. Going slightly over the speed limit costs 4 points instead of 3. Using your phone while driving is now 6 points instead of 5. Passing a school bus carries 8 points. Do the math, just 2 typical infractions, minor speeding and phone use, will hit you with 10 points and freeze your license immediately. At 4 to 6 points, you receive an automatic warning letter. At 7 to 10 points, you must take a driver improvement course at your own expense. The old days of treating a couple tickets as no big deal are completely gone. These 12 new driving rules represent the most significant changes to American roads in decades. From vehicles that refuse to start based on sensor readings to cameras tracking your speed over entire highway stretches to registration fees that punish specific vehicle choices, the landscape of driving in America has fundamentally shifted. The most important thing you can do right now is stay informed. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these changes concerns you the most. Is it the passive alcohol detection in every new car, the real-time insurance tracking, the crushing EV fees, or the brutal new point system? Share this video with every driver you know, your family members, your co-workers, anyone who gets behind the wheel. They need this information before they get blindsided with fines, impounds, or worse. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.